Tony Beets lived in the Yukon for 7 months each year, from April 1st until the bitter cold began to creep back near the end of October. Those were the months when the land grudgingly gave up its secrets, when the thawed earth could be mined, when survival depended on grit, determination, and a ruthless work ethic. To most, Tony was a legend, a man whose name was synonymous with the Klondike gold rush of the modern era, a self-made mining titan who had carved an empire out of frozen wilderness with nothing but stubborn will and an unyielding belief in hard work. But the foundation of that legend was about to crack in a way that no one could have foreseen. It began innocently enough. The southeast corner of the family home had been settling unevenly for months, threatening to undermine the structure in time for the harsh Yukon winter. Tony, always pragmatic, ordered the crew to shore it up properly. What followed would shatter the image of the man who'd stood at the heart of the Beets operation for decades. The call came just before dawn at 4:17 in the morning. Monica Beets, Tony's daughter, was jolted awake by the ringing phone. Her heart sank before she even answered. Her father never called this early unless disaster had struck the Paradise Hill claim. But it was Tony's familiar, gruff voice on the other end. It was Kevin, the foreman, his voice trembling with urgency and fear. "Monica, you need to get here. Don't wake your father yet. What we found, you need to see it first." Those words, spoken with a tremor, turned Monica's blood cold. When she arrived, the sun was still shy behind the Yukon mountains, the sky a deep, bruised purple. Floodlights lit the excavation site, casting long, eerie shadows across the frost-covered ground. The crew stood in a tight circle around the edge of the hole where they had dug down 6 feet, exposing the foundation and beyond. Their faces, weathered and toughened by years of hard labor, were drawn and pale, a rare sight in men and women hardened by the unforgiving wilderness. Kevin met Monica halfway, his eyes avoiding hers, the weight of what they had uncovered pressing heavily on him. "We found something," he said quietly, "a hollow space beneath the foundation, not supposed to be there." His words hung in the cold air, loaded with unspoken dread. Monica stepped forward, boots crunching on the frozen earth, her breath a mist in the chill morning air. She peered into the excavation and saw it. A deliberately carved cavity, roughly 8 feet wide and 12 feet long, meticulously sealed and hidden beneath the oldest part of the house. But it wasn't the hollow space itself that made her hands tremble, it was what filled it. Rows upon rows of metal containers, stacked with military precision, each bearing markings she recognized from years working the claims. Assay numbers, weights, dates reaching back to the early 2000s. Kevin descended into the hollow, prying open one container with practiced care. The scrape of metal against metal echoed like a gunshot in the stillness. He tilted it toward Monica's light, revealing a glimmer that caught her breath. Refined gold bars stamped with purity marks, coins from various mints, and jewelry shimmering with unmistakable luster. Not raw or not rough nuggets, but gold that had been processed and refined, hidden for years beneath the house where Monica had grown up. "This is worth at least $50,000 per container," Kevin said, climbing back out. "And we've counted 47 so far. We haven't opened them all." His voice was low, almost reverent, but edged with the weight of the discovery. "The oldest container is from 2002. This isn't abandoned cache. This has been built over time." Monica's mind raced. For years, the Beets operation had been a model of transparency. They filmed their mining for the television show Gold Rush, declaring their yields and paying taxes. Tony was known for his strict honesty and harsh leadership, a man who demanded excellence but never lied about it. Yet here was a hidden fortune that undermined everything they stood for, a parallel business kept secret from family, crew, and authorities alike. "Has Tony been told?" she asked, though she already suspected the answer. "We called you first," Kevin said grimly. "This is bigger than a busted pipe or payroll issues. This could bring federal investigators, audits, everything going back decades. If this gold wasn't declared properly, if it's from claims not legally worked, we could be facing criminal charges." Monica swallowed hard. The implications were staggering. For years, the Beets name had symbolized integrity in one of the world's toughest mining environments. But now, that foundation was revealed to be built on deception. The crew's faces reflected the turmoil, shock, betrayal, and confusion mingled in their eyes. The hollow space was expertly crafted. It was more than a secret stash, it was a vault. Sealed against moisture, hidden behind a panel in the foundation wall, accessible only to those who knew. This was no spur-of-the-moment hiding place, it was a calculated, ongoing operation. Sarah, a geologist who had worked with the Beets for 7 years, examined the walls and pointed out tool marks consistent with manual excavation techniques from the 1990s or early 2000s, predating Tony's access to heavy machinery. The vault's origins stretched back to the earliest days of his career. Tony's story, the legend of a Dutch immigrant who came to Canada with nothing and built a fortune through hard work and honesty, was suddenly incomplete. What if his rise had been supplemented by a secret side business, buying gold from desperate miners drowning in debt and hardship? Gold they sold at a fraction of its worth just to survive another month. The revelation was a blow not only to the operation but to the family itself. Monica found Tony in the kitchen, coffee in hand, studying a claim map. His face changed from concentration to concern the moment she entered. When she told him what they had found, the vault, the millions in gold, the 23-year secret, his color drained. This was a man who had faced the Yukon's worst and survived, yet now seemed vulnerable in a way Monica had never seen. "I knew this day would come," Tony said quietly. "I just hoped I'd be dead before it did." Over the next 2 hours, Tony confessed the truth. Early in his career, when he was scraping by on other men's claims, he bought gold from miners who had no other options, miners broken by the land, desperate for cash to buy fuel, food, or escape. Tony paid them fairly, he claimed, giving them a lifeline when no one else would. But he never declared this gold through legal channels. It was kept hidden beneath the family home, growing steadily alongside the public, above-board mining operation. "I was ashamed," Tony admitted. "Every ounce came from someone else's failure. I helped them survive. But I also profited from their desperation. I kept it secret because the taxes alone would have crippled us. I thought I was building security for my family." Minnie, Tony's wife, was blindsided. The betrayal cut deep. This was her home, her family's legacy. The bulldozers, equipment, expansions, they all felt tainted now. Had their empire been built partly on hidden gold, on lies, the crew's morale crumbled. Some left, unwilling to be part of a secretive operation. Others stayed, wrestling with the complexity of survival in a brutal environment. Tony's fiery energy dimmed. He still showed up each day, barked orders, but the spark behind his eyes was gone. Alone in the shop, he confided to Monica his despair. "I thought I was protecting us, but all I did was build a time bomb." The audit arrived within 48 hours. Accountants flew in, cataloged every piece, cross-referenced ledgers. The gold was legitimately acquired, but Tony owed hundreds of thousands in back taxes and penalties, threatening to drain the operation's reserves and force equipment sales. Federal investigators arrived 2 weeks later. Tony cooperated fully, admitting the long-hidden operation. While no criminal charges were immediately filed, the financial damage was severe, more than $800,000 owed. Investigators probed for connections to underground gold trading, but Tony insisted he acted alone. In the aftermath, Tony stood before his crew, raw and honest, apologizing without excuses. He promised transparency going forward, every ounce declared, every financial decision open to scrutiny. Some stayed, hopeful, others left, unable to forgive. For Monica, the path forward was uncertain. Minnie slept in the guest house, grappling with betrayal and doubt. The Gold Rush show now faced questions of authenticity. Yet amidst the ruins of their family's legacy, Monica found unexpected resolve. The claims, equipment, and legitimate mining work remained real. If rebuilding their reputation meant accepting consequences, paying debts, and proving their integrity season by season, then that was a fight worth fighting. The Yukon had kept it secret for decades, but now the truth lay bare beneath the Beets family home. The foundation had cracked, but the family was not yet broken. With determination and hard work, they might yet reclaim their legacy. The question remained, could trust be restored, or was this betrayal too deep to overcome? Could the Beets operation survive its greatest trial, or would the shadow beneath the foundation prove its undoing?